This distributor is the one that I've got the Pertronics compufire device in. You know, it was giving me problems, but it's not like it failed. Unlike the other clone, you know, the clones failed. They just flat out turned off. I would sit here and I would bench test them and they didn't work. But this one didn't fail. It just malfunctioned at highway speeds. I would come down to the end of the exit ramp and I'd just sit there idling like there wasn't a problem in the world with this thing. So I pulled it out and I'm starting looking at it right here, and I don't know if you can see that big old gap down there. Yeah, you can. That's definitely viewable. Well, that's not right. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but I was digging around out there in my garage for something else the other day. I found another 034 distributor. I think you can see that, 034. This one has what's missing from the other one. So I'm going to pull off what's missing on that one from this one and put it over there. And then I'm going to take that one and pop it back into the car and see if we can't fix it. Because I'm pretty sure it's not an electrical issue. Now here's what I think is happening. You know, because it's able to do a certain amount of bouncing around due to that space, the rotor bounces up and down. And if this thing is rather sensitive, and it probably should be, it doesn't want to receive spurious signals. So if you've got a gap that grows, and if I'm not mistaken, that gap grows about, I don't know, it's about 1/8 of an inch. So if it's sensitive to 1/8 of an inch, that could be my problem. All right, well anyway, let me take it apart and I'll see what happens. Hey, you know what? Getting these things out here is a real pain in the butt. Anyway, one of the things you want to be able to do is maintain the orientation of this little drive donut, which apparently they call a drive dog. Anyway, so I've marked this one with basically 2 Dremeled marks, whatever. I'm going to put a single Dremel mark on the other just in case I lose track of the dogs. I'll know which one goes where. And I found, of course, another use for my brand new suction cup vise, which I'm using to hold this thing. So it is popping out. I'm making progress, but boy, is it a pain in the butt getting that thing loose. Alrighty, well, this is the one I'm not using, and I pulled it all apart, and right in there was a gasket. I've now put that gasket into here. So this is the one that I'm using. And with that one in place, obviously I have the thickness of that gasket less vertical play. So it's not bouncing around. And I think that that's going to fix it. I think I'm going to get this back into Mr. Blue. And good old Blue is going to function perfectly. Alright, I'm going to get old Reliable out of here. Top dead center. Number 3. Alright, I got it eyeballed. All I got to do is hook up that cap. Okay, wires on. Red to red. Black to black. Alright. Okay, it's not in gear. Haven't cranked it up in a few days. Let's see what happens. Alright. Oops, got the wrong key. Right key this time. Key in. Oops, steering wheel's a little bit tight there. Power. Neutral. Okay, I mistraced spark plugs 1 and 2, so I had a couple of them crossed. Just applied the timing light. My guess was off by about, I don't know, 25 degrees. So it was a bit on the lazy side. Okay, let's rev it up here now that the timing's a little bit better. It's a lot smoother than it was. It's Not bouncing around. Not bad. Well, took it out for a little drive. Ooh, I think that was 2 evenings ago. And it was still bouncing around a little tiny bit. Now, I know there's nothing wrong with the electrical connections up here. This is all solid. But there's one other electrical connection that you kind of forget about when you install it, and that's ground. So it's entirely possible that that little screw that holds this thing together has come loose. I mean, it's a tiny screw if you've ever seen one of these things, and I know that when I put it together, it's like, I sure don't want to strip that thing out. So I may not have torqued it down enough to keep it from undoing itself. And if that's the case, it matches kind of the symptoms that the thing is going through. It's worked fantastic when I first put it together, and there was a slow buildup of problems over the time. You know, that's consistent with the screw backing out slowly as the engine kind of vibrates. So I'm going to pop it open and see if that little screw has come loose. Alright, there it is. Is it in focus? Yeah, I think it is. A quick optical inspection indicates to me that it may actually have backed out. I hope this is the right size wrench. It is. And look at that. You can even see it moving around. It had in fact backed out. Holy smokes, people. This was it. A loose ground. Alright, I'm going to torque it down there a little bit tighter this time. Maybe I'll go out and get some Loctite at some point and come back in. But, wow, that's awesome. That means I can make my mileage run. I can take down tall grass. Awesome. Alright, that seems to be pretty good. Just back from a trip to the Taco Bell for a couple of burritos and some Dr. Pepper for lunch. That's got it fixed. That's what it needed. I've got to see if I can get the vacuum canister working. Or rather, see if it works. Not just get it working, but, you know, if it works. That'd be interesting. I haven't run a vacuum canister type distributor since it had its original motor in it. But, yeah, geez, I got to get the excess oil out of there. It's still got too much oil in it. I've never gotten around to pulling the extra oil out. And then I got to do a mileage run. Now that I know how, you know, that it's not going to blow up on me. Got to get that done. Should be able to do that this upcoming weekend, maybe Monday. We're supposed to have a break in the weather. It's pretty hot right now. Alright, more later.